These are the 5 weirdest whiskeys in my collection, plus one bonus bottle we have to talk about. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Hutch, and thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the world of whiskey. So today we're talking about some of the strangest whiskeys, or most unusual or weirdest whiskeys in my collection. So literally the only thing they had to do to qualify to make this list was be weird in some way, shape, or form. So that could be the packaging and marketing is a bit strange or off the wall. Could be that the profile or the mash bill really stands out as kind of strange. Could have something to do with the distillery itself. Anything goes, it just has to be weird to make it on the list. Now, a big caveat is that does not mean these whiskeys are bad. In fact, there's a few on this list that I consider really, really good whiskeys. So they're still good even if they're a bit weird. Lastly, there is a bonus bottle that I think is going to be some fun to talk about, so stick around to the end because I'll bring that one out. All right, without further ado, let's get into the list. Bottle number 1 has a lot to do with that branding and packaging angle, and that is Boundary Oaks Lincoln Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So this is a craft distillery in Kentucky, much smaller distillery, trying to make a name for themselves. They got some younger products at this point. This one's only 2 years old. What I find strange about it is not that it's a 2-year-old whiskey at 113 proof. I actually think when you're trying to show off the potential of your whiskey, going higher proof can mask some of those flaws and get people interested. What I find strange is the marketing. Yes, they're trying to play off the fact that Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky. His family home is not far at all from the distillery. But just plastering his face on the front and essentially making that the entire branding for this line is just strange to me. I don't know why. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of it? Is it cool or is it, for me it's a little bit weird. Then you add in the fact that it's younger whiskey and it's just like a little bit strange as a whole presentation to me. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe this one's cool and everybody's interested in it and I just am seeing it a little differently. Let me know. Okay, so bottle number 2 is gonna get us into that territory of a really unique, off-the-wall kind of profile. And for that, I've got this bottle picked out. Barrel Ice Wine Finish. So this is part of Barrel's cask finish series. They've done other strange things with a lot of different types of oak and fruits and finishes. This one stands out to me as one of the most interesting. Ice wine is a dessert wine that's pretty rare, made from grapes that froze naturally as part of the season of growing the grapes, I guess. This one's at least 5 years old. As Barrel tends to do, there's a blend of up to 15-year-old stuff in here, lots of different mash bills involved. But then that ice wine finish, it's really strange. This bourbon really does drink a little bit more like a wine, like a white wine quality to it infused throughout, and then this like brown sugar backbone. It's really good. It's actually really good, especially for introducing people to bourbon who come from the wine world or aren't that, interested in the power of bourbon or the alcohol content. I mean, it's still 106 proof, but got that wine characteristic that makes it much more approachable. It's good, it's well done, but it is a little strange if you feel like you're drinking a wine while you're drinking a bourbon. All right, let's stick with this theme of strange profiles, but even kick it up a notch and do something even more experimental. And a great bottle for that is Chattanooga Whiskey Bottled in Bond. Almost any of their lineup, the bottled in bond options, is gonna be kind of weird. The profiles here can vary wildly because the mash bills they're using are all these different types of malted grains, chocolate malt, honey, roasted malt, crazy stuff that they're doing in combining the recipe for the whiskeys, and then they just age it normally and give it to us, but it does lead to some very interesting flavors. This is the spring 2017 version. It's good whiskey, but I'll tell you what, there is a very distinct cranberry note It's almost like you're having Thanksgiving dinner and there you get your like cranberry sauce or something. That's what I get on this bottle. And I think it's because that profile or that mash bill is so weird that it leads to a bit of an off the wall profile. Good, but strange for sure. Okay, let's go into bottle number 4 now, which is actually what I've got poured up. And again, this one's a little bit more of a combination of branding, but also the whiskey itself is pretty surprising. Let's taste it. Cheers. Again, very good, but surprising, a little bit strange that it's presenting what it's presenting. That bottle is still Austin cask strength. Texas whiskey. The big trend from Texas is younger whiskey, but presenting with a ton of maturity. This bottle in particular at, I think it's 116 proof, is ridiculously dark and decadent for how young it is, which is at least 2 years old. Like, it's surprising the color. I mean, it could be older. We could be getting some older stocks here, but the color and the profile are just so surprising and sort of strange for something this young. I also happen to live in Kentucky. Most of us, I think, are familiar with Kentucky bourbons because that's still like 90 to 95% of the world's bourbon. And then you get this Texas whiskey that's spicy, rich, dark, and much, much younger. Just kind of throws you for a little bit of a loop and reminds you that different environments really do heavily affect how bourbon matures, the pace, the flavors, the style. And this one's strange because of that, but man, it's actually delicious. All right, so the last bottle might just be the most deliberately experimental. Maybe the Chattanooga Bottled in Bond could rival it, but from this distillery, it's kind of strange that they have this line where they go and do some really interesting stuff. And that is Shank's Sour Mash Whiskey from Michter's. So they've got Shank's and Bomberger's, both of which are their more experimental lines. This tends to be the lower proof option. Let's see, what proof point are we at here? Yeah, it's only like 91.2 proof. It's very interesting. This one in particular has malted rye as part of the mash bill. They don't disclose much. The going theory is that this is essentially their like their sour mash product, which is thought to be a blend of bourbon and rye. So this is basically a boo rye and got that malted rye quality. It's got like a minty, chocolatey, buttery, coffee even infusion on this bottle in particular. Oaky, rich, delicious stuff. Really good and interesting, but very strange. It kind of jumps all over the place, and I think that's part of what they're going for. They've got their standard products that are pretty much well defined what they are, and then you get Shank's and Bomberger's. I chose Shank's today just because it does strike me as a little bit stranger sometimes, but they've got this line that just kind of goes off the wall and they see what happens and people gobble it up. So clearly it's still good stuff, just a little bit odd. Okay, now let's conclude with this bonus bottle. These are the 5 just in my collection that I think represent some strange or weird whiskey, but I got one more. Just before we reveal that, I do want to say, if you're enjoying all the content coming out of the channel, please consider subscribing to the Bourbon Hutch. We are still shooting for 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. It's a big goal. We're lagging behind pace there a little bit. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing. If you've been watching the content and haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. While you're at it, hit the like button on this video. That's what gets it out to the most people. And then comment down below and let me know, what strange or weird whiskeys do you have in your collection? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they just oddball ones that you think are adding value to your collection because you've got something unique? Would love to hear what you've got that you think is weird. All right, last bottle, my bonus bottle, is my Infinity bottle. So this is a blend of a lot of stuff. I don't really even know what's in there. I didn't keep track when I first started the Infinity bottle. It's just in this decanter, which makes it look like it should be this elevated great house whiskey that I've chosen for people when they come over, and the truth is, this thing is not very good. It's a weird one. At times it drinks flat because it's almost got too many competing components, and then at times it drinks like dank and a little bit off-putting. Other times it drinks like actually pretty pleasant. I mean, I add a little bit to it here and there over time, but it's getting to the point where I'm thinking about dumping it out and just restarting and actually tracking what's in there, because at this point I have no idea. I'll have to crack it open soon and try it again. Maybe we could do that as a video on the channel, but it's a strange one. It's a weird one because it's basically an amalgamation of a bunch of different types of whiskey that clearly don't go very well together. So I'll have to maybe revisit this one or go back to the drawing board soon, but did want to highlight that my Infinity bottle, very weird. Okay, those are some weird whiskeys. Again, let me know in the comments below. What are your weird whiskeys in your collection? Do you like them or not? Just curious. Okay, that's gonna do it, everybody. Till I see you guys again for another video. All I can say is keep drinking good whiskey, maybe try some weird stuff, and cheers.